Welcome back. This is part 19 of Electric Resto Mod MGB GT. Let me show you what I've been up to in the last month. The early MGBs had the all-metal dash. The only thing that's vinyl on it is just the covering on the top and then a foam little crash pad across the top rail here. The dashboards were originally painted in like a wrinkle finish, of kind of a satin black wrinkle finish. I've sprayed it on previous cars and it came out pretty good. However, I don't know if it's the temperature or the product I was using was not as good as what I used in the past. I don't know. I think it was a temperature issue. I painted this in wrinkle finish 2 times, and actually 3 times, and after the 3rd time it was kind of okay, but I didn't really like it. So each time you have to strip it down to bare metal, reprime it, and after spending days on this dash, I decided I'd really like to have more of a modern look to it. So I looked around and I found a vinyl wrap. This is a vinyl wrap that has a carbon fiber look, and I've never put this on before, but this one's out by Vivid, I believe. Yeah, VVIVID. Yeah, it's a Vivid Premium, they call it. It's very forgiving. I thought, what the heck, it wasn't that expensive. Purchased it online. What's neat about it, you just need a low-powered heat gun or hair dryer just to add some heat to it to stretch it. It did take me a few hours to do. Well, it took me around 4 hours to do it, actually, the whole thing. But it really came out nice. I really like it. It really does look like carbon fiber. If you've never done it before, this stuff is very forgiving. If it doesn't lay down right, you just slightly warm it up and peel it off and re-stretch it. It's pretty neat stuff. Anyway, that's what I did on the dash. Came out pretty good. I don't have the dash all together yet. I still have to put the radio blocking plate in here with the MG emblem on it. Yeah, real happy with it. This is the mounting bracket that I made for the iPad. I wanted something to hold it in place, to support it. So what I did is it actually sits in here, and then I put Velcro strips on the plate. And then on the back of the iPad case, I put 2 strips of Velcro. So it works out really nice. It holds it very secure. And it holds it real secure, so it doesn't move around or fall off. The transmission tunnel carpet. This was a real pain. The gear shift transmission normally sits up in this area here, so they had put some stitching in here to make this go up in that way. So what I had to do was cut that. I actually cut it in half and re-stitch this to take that excess carpeting out. It came out pretty good. I think I need to put a little more padding right through this area here to get some of these wrinkles out. But yeah, it came out pretty nice. I have the upholstery panels covering the rear battery boxes in. I think it came out pretty nice. I put a rail up here actually for 2 reasons. If I want to set things up here, while we're driving the car, it kind of keeps them from falling off or forward. But also the carpet I didn't have enough to cover the whole panel all the way across. So the sides are vinyl, and this made for an easy transition by putting this on there. Yeah, it looks real nice. There's 4 screws holding the lid on. There's 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And this is built on an aluminum angle frame underneath. But yeah, these are threaded into the aluminum frame. These panels are removable with these screws for access to the batteries and wiring, and the same on the back. Seat belts, I'm using a 3-point system, so there's mounting bolts through the upper wheel wells in the back. The bottom of the seat belts will bolt into here and on the transmission tunnel over here, the factory locations. This is the back view of the battery box. This carpet here is snapped on. There's the 2 rear screws are over here and here that hold the lid on. And this all comes off. I did get been working on the upholstery. I've got the carpet on the rear wheel wells on both sides. I'm going to have to pull these finishing pads off. I made these. They're a little bit too long, so I've marked both sides. I'm going to pull these back off and trim this down a little bit so these quarter panels that go on here will fit better. The power plug for recharging was a little bit long. Normally the cable would come out here and go to wherever, but I actually cut the side off of this plastic piece, so the wires are hidden underneath. I'll probably just cap this. Might cover it with some of the gray headliner material, just so it doesn't stand out as much as this. But anyway, that fits nice. I've been installing some of the trim on the car. This is the original gutter trim pieces. I had to do quite a bit of work on them to get some dents out of them. At one time in the past, someone had a luggage rack or something on the top of the car, and these are real soft metal. I got most of it out. These are very expensive. They are available in reproduction, but these are the original ones. I know all the rivet holes and screw holes lined up perfectly on the car, so I went ahead and straightened them, cleaned them up. Some of the pieces are new, like this piece is new because the original just did not look right at all. I do have the quarter windows all cleaned up, polished, and ready to go back in, but because I was doing so much work on the interior upholstery and some of the headliner, these quarter panels in the back, it's just easier with the window not there. I can reach in and work it. The quarter windows are held in place by these 4 screws on the front where the hinge is, so it pops out, and then the rear latch screws will screw on after I have these panels on here. But anyway, it's much easier to work around here, seat belts and all this stuff, without that glass being in place. It's not too much to put them back in, so I'll do them later. I still haven't put the glass in the windshield, which I could probably do at any time now, and also the rear hatch. Well, I'm underneath the back of the car. I did go ahead and get the rear springs in, and things kind of tightened down back here. Here are the spring adjusters. They are kind of at the lowest setting right now. I'm sure I'll have to move them up. So I've got probably 1.5 to 2 inch adjustment in there. Here's the other side. While I'm under here, this little brace I made for the brake lines because of the pivot of the rear suspension arms and moving up and down, this is the rubber hydraulic line here. I didn't want these things to move, so I braced them with this aluminum bracket, which bolts onto the actually bolts onto the mount for the three-way fixture here. So anyway, that should keep that from moving. It's pretty solid. Yeah, let me show you the front. Okay, I got the front springs installed. These are 1-inch lowered springs in the front. Along with that, the bump stop, the rubber bump stops, were modified so they're actually raised. There's normally a spacer in here, so they're about 1 inch or so lower. I removed that, which raised up this, so a little more travel, or upwards travel. Everything's bolted together in the front, but nothing's tightened down yet. I have a strong feeling I'm going to have to do something with these front springs. I think it's going to sit too high in the front, but we'll see. My plan is to get the wheels on here and set it down on the ground and see what happens. Design BMS, on their website, they give you this information on how to install the driver into your laptop. It's an okay manual. I'm not going to get too heavily involved, but it runs you through how to install the driver, which I've done. This driver is called Putty Driver. I think you can see that okay on the screen there. Anyway, you install that, and when you initialize the BMS, when you turn the 12 volts on in the car, we're connected via this USB cable over to the BMS that plugs in here. The flashing LED is normal. It's blinking red because I don't have all of my parameters installed into the with the laptop into the BMS control. If it was a steady red, there would be a fault somewhere in the system, and you have to look it up on the computer what the fault is. If you're in the car, it would show up on the iPad screen as a fault. When you first turn it on, it's going to show up, what the version is, and it goes through and tells you it detected all of the plugs. The temperature's okay on all of the thermistors. What did happen was, if you can see right here, there's a low voltage and a high voltage. And I wasn't sure in cell 9 and 10. I came over here, and cells 9 and 10 come in here. Here's 1 to 12. Evidently, this plug was not tightly installed, because as soon as I wiggled that and made sure it was in all the way, the fault immediately went away. So that was, fortunately, just a loose connection, I guess, to the plug. Once I did that, it come back cell 9 okay, cell 10 okay, and they came back okay. You can see where I kind of wiggled it and got it and snapped back into place. It was okay. So with that, what I did was you get this BMSC and you type in show cells, and it will show you all the 96 cells, and they all have 3.57 volts on them. And I also typed in show thermistors, and this gives you the temperature of the 13 thermistors that I have installed in the car. And this is where I turned it off and back on again, and it just shows me everything's okay there. Yeah, I'm not a computer wizard, but what I need to do now is the manual shows you all of the commands that you can put in and how to set things. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I just wanted to show you that. I might show you more on this later, but there it is. The thermistors. I have 13 thermistors on here. There's one for each pair of batteries. I tried to put them to where the thermistors would read the temperature of both batteries. So sometimes on some of them they're actually located between the two batteries, so it's reading the temperature of both. Anyway, it comes out in centigrade, 14 degrees centigrade. There's a quick and easy formula for converting to Fahrenheit. And for example, if you have 15 degrees centigrade, you double that and it comes out to 30. If you take 10% of that, which would be 3, and subtract that, you come up with 27. And then if you add 32 degrees, that will give you the temperature in Fahrenheit. So 15 degrees centigrade is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's just a simple way of doing it, and it's about right, because if you look outside, it is snowing out. And it is a little cool in the garage. I have some space heaters going out here, but it's around 60 degrees here in the garage right now. And you can see it's just 60, 61 degrees in the shop. That's all for this episode. I want to get the dolly off in the next week or so and get the wheels and tires back on. That way I can check the ride height on the car. I'm thinking I might have to do something to the front end to get it to sit at the correct height, but we'll see what happens there. The electrical system on the 12-volt system on the car is all in and working really well. And I'm just doing some finishing things on the high voltage system. All the BMS checked out good. So yeah, we'll see where we're at next episode. Thanks for watching.